So let's talk about what the Treaty of Versailles actually did and whether it was fair or unfair to Germany and how it either helped bring peace to the world after World War I or if it did not help bring peace to the world after World War I. So, first, let's talk about the war guilt clause. Who should accept responsibility for the war? So, do you think that it's most fair for Germany alone to be blamed for the war, saying maybe they caused the most damage in the war? Or do you think it was Austria-Hungary who should be responsible for taking the blame for the war because they were the first to declare war? Or do you think that no one should be responsible for the war because all countries participated in the things that caused the war, like militarism, alliances, nationalism, etc.? Well, what actually happened was that Germany alone was responsible for the war. Germany alone accepts the war guilt clause. This was called Article 231 of the Treaty of Versailles, and it says that Germany alone, being the most aggressive participant, and because they were the ones who signed the armistice saying that they lost, they should be responsible for the whole war. So let's go back to the next topic, which is what should happen to Germany's military. There were a couple of different options that you could have. You could say that the German military should be reduced to 100,000 men with 36 ships, no tanks, no subs, no planes, to make sure that they never start another war again. You could say that their military should be reduced to 250,000 men with 50 ships and allowed some tanks, subs, and planes. Or you could say that they should go back to how it was before the war started, which would be the most generous option. So let's see. What do you think? Maybe go back to how it was before? No, that wasn't it. So Germany's military was reduced to the lowest amount. They only could have 100,000 men. They were allowed 6 ships, but they were not allowed to have any subs, tanks, or planes, and they were not allowed to build their military back up again. So now let's go to reparations. If you did the assignment, you know already what happens here. But who should pay for the damage? So everyone agrees that Germany needs to pay for the damage that it caused to France. France is where most of the damage happened because almost all of the battles were fought in France. But how much should they be expected to pay? So do we want to really put them deeply in debt? We know they don't have money right now. So charging them only $12 billion maybe wouldn't crush their economy. That's doable. Should we make them pay for all the damages just in France with $33 billion? Or should they have to pay $100 billion, pay for everything for the whole war? Well, they accepted all the blame, so let's see. No, how much did they really pay? $33 billion, that's the middle one. So this equals $400 billion in today's money, and Germany never paid that back until 2010. That's what that political cartoon from the assignment represented, that Germany was just crushed under the weight of these reparations that they had to pay. It says $55 billion in the political cartoon. That's because the political cartoon was made about 10 years later. So adjusting for inflation, that's how much it was worth at that point. Okay, the next topic is what should happen to the Rhineland. So this was the industrial center of Germany, and some of the allies thought that if no one watched it, they could potentially gain power again. Also, it's a dangerous area because it's on the border of France, and France is afraid that Germany might attack them again. So do you think that we should allow France to take control over the Rhineland? Do you think we should allow international forces to take control of the Rhineland? Or do we think that Germany should be allowed to keep it, but with the allies, the US, Great Britain, and France watching it? I can't really hear what you choose. So let's say we let Germany keep it. So that's what happens, but the allies are going to keep a watch over it. So this means that Germany still doesn't really have the freedom and the